Me, 55F, and my husband, 55 meters, have two biological children, 31F and 29F. 16 years ago we started fostering and took in Sally, 30F, when she was 16. We knew she came from a background of being sexually abused, but did not know many details and didn't pressure her into talking about it. But of course still did our best to help her and treat her equally to our other children. A couple times my husband thought she was flirting with him, but he wrote it off as him perceiving something differently than what it was. Then when she was 17 she approached him and touched him inappropriately. He immediately shut that down and she apologized, and after he came to me about it we then had a discussion about how that was not at all appropriate, and she apologized again and said she didn't know what she was thinking. We then started having her see a therapist and would make sure my husband would not be alone with her unless necessary. You would think we'd contact the social worker and get her in a different home, but she had a couple months until she graduated and was going to dorm in college, so we figured it would be best not to disrupt things too much for her last couple months. We would still welcome her to come back during her breaks, and she had a very good relationship with our other daughters. One day when she was 20 and back home on break, she approached my husband while he was in the kitchen grabbing a midnight snack while the rest of us were sleeping and took her shirt off in front of him. He came and got me and we told her she needed to leave. After that, we told her she would not be welcome in our home anymore, but we would continue to financially support her until she graduated, would not tell anyone else what happened, and we would still be cordial if we ever saw her in public as long as she does the same and stay on the right path, and she apology. Zed and agreed. After that, we would rarely see Sally because she kept in touch with our daughters since they were still good friends, which she didn't have many of, and I didn't want her to lose that support system. But when we did see her it would be at the maximum small talk. A couple of days ago, Sally called and asked if she could have a conversation with me and my husband as it was really important to her and she needed to get this off of her chest in person. We agreed and yesterday we met with her and her husband. After basic pleasantries, she started apologizing about everything that happened. She opened up and started explaining her childhood and how she was sexually abused by her dad and uncle, and growing up she thought that was the way daughters were supposed to show love to their dads. With my husband being nice to her and her having a distorted view on how to interact with a male in a fatherly role, she responded the way she was used to. It was a long conversation and I'm not going to get into too many details, but overall she said she realizes today how disgusting and inappropriate her actions were and she's very ashamed of what she did and has been doing a lot of counseling working on herself and wants to apologize personally to us for everything she did. After a lot of crying on both parts, she said that she and her husband were pregnant and she wanted us to be involved in the child's life as the grandparents, and she wanted to rebuild trust with us and earn our forgiveness. My husband told her he forgave her a long time ago and I told her the same, and I hold no ill will against her, but I felt like it was best if we remained distant with each other. I just feel like overall too much has happened and it would be hard to move past that. She started sobbing, and I felt so bad. Her husband got kind of mad at me and said it took a lot of courage for her to come to us and open up about everything and ask for forgiveness. I said I 100% agree and I'm very proud of her and appreciate her for coming to us, but I think we're both comfortable with where we are in each other's lives right now and it should stay that way, but I wish her nothing but the best and will always have love in my heart for her. She was very upset but said she understands and thanked us. My husband and I hugged her, then they left. Afterwards my husband told me he thinks that I was wrong for not wanting to give her another chance. I said, you don't think we need space between us after what's happened in the past? And he said, we've had 10 years of space. She's a grown adult now and I think we should all move on from what she did as a teenager. I think we should all move on, but I don't know if still being involved in each other's lives with everything all that happened is the best idea. I know I'm acting selfishly out of interest of my own comfort, but I just don't know if that's the right decision. So Ida for saying me and my husband shouldn't get involved in our foster daughter's life again? Edit, addressing some things mentioned. 1. I'm actually surprised my husband wants to give her another chance. After the second incident he wanted to go completely no contact outside of finish paying for her school, since we had already told her we'd take care of that, and wanted to tell our daughters to cut her off. But I thought that was the most harmful route, so I would call to make sure she was okay every now and then and helped her adjust a little after graduation, but after that told her that would be the last direct involvement she'd be getting from us. 2. My daughters have said they will be child-free. I didn't think it'd be best to tell them what happened to save Sally the embarrassment. They are friends but aren't super close. It's more of a how's life? conversation every few months. 3. Before the first incident when she was 17 things were very good and we were talking about proceeding with adoption, which she was receptive about. Looking back now I feel like this could have possibly been a trigger given her history with her dad, and that would make my husband legally her new dad. After that we stopped talking about adoption to let the tension settle and see how things would go. When the second incident happened things were kind of almost back to normal. I feel like all this also adds to her request that we be grandparents to the baby, because if we had ended up going through with adoption we would have been a real family and legally the grandparents, so it's like she wants that relationship that we had back for. I am so happy with where she is right now. The reason me and husband started fostering is because we wanted to help kids get a life they may not have otherwise had. And I feel like in part we did that. We helped her get her grades up and get into a university. We then paid for said university. And when she finished we helped her get set up in an apartment and look for jobs so she wouldn't be like a fish out of water. After that we stopped contact and decided to our separate ways, mainly due to the concern that she may try something again or even accuse my husband of something. And I thank God she stayed on the right track and has succeeded on her own. I do love her, but sometimes I think it's better to love someone from a distance. I just don't know if this should be one of those cases still. 5. Honestly don't know what I'm worried about. It's like a jumble of thoughts.